I've been in the hat business now for 45 years. My creations go all over the world. I have made hats for Hollywood, Broadway musicals, Emmy Award winning television productions. People all over the world seek my services. My name is Gary White, and I'm a master hatter and hat designer. The influence for me to make hats started as a young child. I used to like to work with my hands. As a young lad, I used to like to work on automobiles. When I had an opportunity to learn how to become a custom hatter and make hats, I jumped at the opportunity. I started my business in 1983. I've been making hats now on my own for 32 to 33 years. This is the very first hat I ever finished during my apprenticeship. You can tell by the burn marks around the edge, the off-stitching on the outside, and the way the ribbon sort of doesn't lay correctly, but it's always there to show me that I can be better at my craft. Last year we did between 350 and 500 hats. I can't guarantee you how many I actually made. The amount of time that went into them depends on the color. Every hat is different. Some hats may take me 3 hours, some hats may take me 3 to 4 weeks just to do the finish on a light colored hat. They sell for between $5.95 a piece. The most favorite hat for me to make is a Riverboat Gambler, simply because it requires 5 different sets of blocks to make this particular hat. The hardest hat that I ever made was a 2-in-1 hat that reverses. Burgundy on one side and, I'll use an example, gray on the other. The hat could roll up and stick in your pocket. The outside ribbon on the hat band becomes the inside sweatband on the hat when the hat is reversed, so you can turn it inside out. There's 2 hats in one. We did it for a Broadway musical years ago that we got a Tony nomination for. It was a very, very difficult hat to make, and it sits around in a museum somewhere in New York City right now. Some of the production work that I've worked on started out with Adrian Pastar's Lost Capone on TNT, which led to me doing work for Milena Canonero on Dick Tracy. Then it went for me working on The Godfather 2 and 3. We also did Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Batman Returns. That was for Bob Ringwood. We also did work on Tombstone. I had to point to him here. The Untouchables, The Revolutionary Road, just to name a few. The most current television production I've worked on has been Boardwalk Empire for 5 seasons. And hopefully there's a new one in the works that I don't want to say too much about. We've been very lucky to be part of 3 Tony Award winning musicals where my name is on the Tony Award. From Martin Pacla-Dennis, one of the costume designers. And simply because when I work on Broadway, the creative license that the costume designers give to me is just about open. I can create just about whatever I want, any color I want. And it's a great opportunity, and it's really nice to work with some talented people in New York City. There are 80 hand steps involved to take it from A to Z, the beginning to the end. The steps involved are all hands-on. There's blocking, cutting, flanging, luring. There's a tremendous amount of different processes that take place, and we'll try and show you a few of those. The wooden hat blocks that we use to shape the tops of the crowns are about 100 years old. They're made out of 100-year-old aged yellow Appalachian poplar, because the wood expands or the wood contracts depending on if you're going to make a hat during the summer or during the winter months. The wooden blocks fit inside the blocking machine depending on the size of hat you're going to make, and the block is then forced down into the felt to give the crown the initial shape before the pouncing process begins. When the felt is removed from the blocking machine, the initial shape of the crown is intact. We would then iron the brim out, scorching the outside of the felt and scorching the outside of the crown. You would use a very hot iron, approximately 500 degrees on the finish of the hat, and you would scorch it because to create a very smooth finish in a hat, it would have to be sanded and buffed out with titaniums and pumice and pigment. We would grind it into the hat and then sand it all off, keeping the color consistent to create a fine quality hat. The pouncing machine actually shaves the rough barbs off the felt. That would be the step after you're scorched to finish. Then you would have to finish that by hand. There's also a crown pouncer that would pounce the crown, and then the crown would have to be finished by hand. The flanging machine you see in back of me here is full of 200 pounds of hot leg sand. You got heating elements on the inside that get red hot. The machine actually locks down over the brim of the hat and molds the felt to the shape of the wooden hat flange that we're using. As the felt dries, the felt gets stiffer. When you remove the flange, or you remove the felt from underneath the flanging machine, it'll hold the snap in place. This is one of the big accumulations of privately owned hat equipment outside of companies like Stetson or Dobbs or Borsalino. But the equipment, the value of the equipment here is priceless. The legacy that I would like to leave is that the way I would like to be remembered is I would like to say that he did the job and he did it to the best of his ability. And it was never my store when you came in my studios, it was always your store. But right now I'm sort of leaning towards the teaching facility and the museum for the colleges, for the costume design students for generations to come, because I know this equipment will never exist in the schools ever again. My name is Gary White, and I'm the Custom Hatter.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York.